livestream with Commander Shinakuma. So tonight we are farming unlimited grade 5 engineering data using the much publicised Commander Jameson crash site. Now, just to preempt anybody in the comments complaining that, oh my god, I can't believe you're showing this method, after ever going to nerf it. This method has been publicised on the Frontier forums already. It's all over Reddit, and several of the most high profile YouTubers out there, including Yamix, Down to Earth Astronomy and others, have featured it. So it's only a matter of time before it gets nerfed. So watching this video isn't going to change that. But now we've got that disclaimer out the way, let's have a look where we are. We are in the system HIP 12099 on the second planet. I'll just show you here. And we're visiting the crash site of Commander Jamie Jameson. Now, for those who don't know, that is a character portrayed in the first Elite game. He was tricked into doing some really nasty shit to Thargoids and then had his ship sabotaged so it landed on this planet. Now, the reason that's important for us, other than nostalgia, is that at the moment the beacons around his ship are giving away an unlimited supply of grade 5 engineering data, which we can then trade in for any other type of grade 5 engineering data and get lots and lots and lots of those hard to find engineering materials, including data mined wake exceptions and abnormal compact emissions data. Although you can find these items normally, and I've got a ultimate guide to grade 5 how to find them legit, I guess, if you want to use that word. This is a guaranteed method. You are guaranteed to get them. There's no randomly generated events by using this, and it just makes it a little bit quicker. So once you've made it to this site, and the coordinates are -54 and -50, as you can see on screen here, you want to navigate to a point where you can scan these 4 beacons, which I'm about to show you in a moment. And I'm doing quite a poor job of finding the spot. Here it is, next to this battered old container here. So once you get to here, you have to go into turret mode, and you simply want to select the comms beacons. Evening everyone, there's only 2 of you on at the moment. So as you can see here, we have got some adaptive encryption captures. Now, as an engineering material itself, this is utterly useless and used for almost nothing. But what it is going to give us is stuff that we can trade, good quality stuff. So I started out the evening about 15 minutes ago. I wanted to test this before I broadcasted it, with no data mined wake exceptions. 15 minutes later, I've got 16, and I'm about to get another 16 when I trade in this. Like I say, this is not going to be the most enthralling live stream that I've ever done, but it is going to save you some time if you are engineering your ships at the moment. And there's also going to be a lot of board hopping. So all I'm going to do is every time I log, I'm just going to log back into another solo session. The reason I'm choosing solo is simply so I'm not tripping over the feet of any other commanders who are doing the same thing. Because it's very rare you can get guaranteed data in this game, and it is almost certain to be nerfed in one of the upcoming updates. So it really is a case of get it while you can. Welcome to anyone just joining us this evening. Just to repeat myself, I am using the much publicised Commander Jameson method to collect an unlimited supply of grade 5 engineering data, which I'm then going to trade in at a nearby system to get those harder to find engineering items. Specifically data mined wake exceptions being the prime, but abnormal compact emissions being the second one that's hard to come by. Like I say, this is a guaranteed method. I've been running meta alloys out of Maya. Hopefully you've made some decent money doing that. As, to my knowledge and looking at the comments on the video, that's still working nicely and will continue to work nicely until the system state changes. Then there'll probably be a cooldown period, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the vast majority of the systems go back into boom state, in which case the missions will start to spawn again. Undoubtedly in between that there'll be the doomsayers in the comments saying, oh my god, it's been nerfed, you've ruined it for everyone. That's not true, just a system state, and it'll be back just like it was back the first time. Like I say, this is not the most enthralling live stream I've ever run. It really is just me farming grade 5 engineering data from the Jameson site. And what we're after are these adaptive encryption captures, because we're going to trade those rather useless items in for things we can actually use. Specifically data mined wake exceptions. So coming out of turret mode, let's just go into our inventory, and we have been here for what, 3 minutes, and we've already got 37 adaptive encryption captures. So not bad going. 100 adaptive encryption captures is worth 16 of any other grade 5 data type. So if you're struggling to get data mined wake exception or abnormal compact emissions data, which again can be hit and miss, farming them legit, this is a guaranteed method to get your frameshift drives up and running to grade 5, assuming you've unlocked the engineers. With all of the new ships that have come out at the moment, the Crate, the Challenger, and any other ships that you might want to buy, especially if you've been lucky enough to farm the meta alloys, perhaps got your first Anaconda or Cutter. This is a great way to collect these datas to engineer them. Like I say, see how easy it is. You don't even have to move. For those that have just joined us, we're in system HIP 12099 at planet 2A at the crashed Jameson ship. Sucks that this guy was ship was sabotaged and left to slowly suffocate to death after effectively saving the galaxy. Not exactly the best reward. I'd have not been too happy about it myself. But there you have it. What am I doing? Right, so once I load back in, I'll show you, but I did feature it at the beginning of the stream as well. So you can either just roll back time, but we are in system HIP space 12099. We are on the second planet. Now when you arrive, you will need to use the planetary coordinates to navigate to -54 by -50. If you don't know how to navigate by planetary coordinates, traveling at 0 or 180 degrees will make the top number go up or down. Traveling at 270 or 90 degrees will make the bottom number go up and down. Ignore any other headings, and using simple trial and error you'll be able to find your way here. This is Commander Jamie Jameson's crashed Cobra. James Jameson being the commander that you play in the first Elite game if you were kicking about in 1984. Some of you were, some of you weren't. And he got screwed over after saving the galaxy from the Thargoids. They basically gave him a bioweapon to kill them all, and they lied. They said it was just going to knock their engines, but more importantly, these little data nodes here give out grade 5 engineering data, which we can then use to trade for data that we actually want. Because what you get from these is pretty much garbage, to be fair, but it's garbage we can trade. So any data is good, to be fair, but what we're actually after are these adaptive crypt, whatever the hell they're called. I can't even remember. It's too late. I'm quite tired. So I'm probably just talking garbage now. There you go. Adaptive encryptor capture. So these don't get used in ship engineering, but they're fantastic for trading. And it's way more efficient than trying to find these data items themselves. Let's just have a look how many we've managed to capture now. So we're up to 76, so not many more till we get a full 100. Then we can go and trade for whatever it is that we need. Made $1 billion. That's Music to my ears. So when Q4 launches, and of course the fleet carriers emerge, and lots of people keep saying, "Oh my God, I'm going to get a capital ship." You're not getting a capital ship. Fleet carriers are not capital ships. You won't be able to fly them, at least not yet. I reckon they're going to be somewhere in the region of 10 billion, because it's going to take a wing or a squadron to own one. Oh, there you are, just peeking over the hill. Just to be absolutely clear, this method has been published on the Elite Dangerous forum by some disgruntled commanders who are not happy that players are taking advantage of it. So this method is well and truly out there, and it really is just a matter of time before FDev come and nerf these data nodes, and you won't be able to use this for too much longer. I just unlocked Shinrarta Dezhra as well. Worth a trip out, or should I stick with Li Yong? I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, unlike materials, data is probably the most frustrating item to get. Oh, so we've got our 100 adaptive crypture captures, so we're now full on that. Oh yeah, I have all my ships at Shinrarta Dezhra. Every single module is available in the same place, so you don't need to go shopping for what station may or may not sell a module. And it's yeah, it literally has, if it's in the game, Shinrarta Dezhra has it. All of my ships are based there. Yeah, no more shopping around to say where do I get level 6 frameshift drives, or yeah, everything. Right, okay, so one more time, for Nick Dodd, we are in HIP 12099 at Planet 2A, and we are farming the crashed Cobra of Commander Jamie Jameson for grade 5 data items, which we are then going to go and trade in for items we actually want, including data mined wake exceptions and abnormal compact emissions data. Using the material traders, it's unlimited. It's so much quicker than doing it the I guess the proper way is a way you would describe that, the legit way. What weapons do you have on your Corvette? My personal Corvette has 2 huge multi-cannons with the rapid fire modification and oversized sub modification, and then the rest is rapid fire pulse lasers, again all with oversized on as well. That particular combination will melt any PvE ship in the game in seconds, even elite corvettes, elite cutters. In terms of PvP, one-on-one, it can hold its own against any ship in the game. I've never been defeated 1v1 in my corvette PvP. But I have been well and truly ganked by kill on sight. No ship's invincible when you're facing down 4 or 5 ships in one go, and anyone who says otherwise is a goddamn liar. If I don't get out of this sun's gravity soon, I might have to pop a heatsink. In fact, I'm just gonna do that. Pop one of these. That should jump before the heat builds up again. Both have advantages. Efficient beam lasers are absolutely fantastic at melting shields, but in my own personal opinion, they're not so hot at melting the hull, which is why I Ray Gateway, where is it? Am I being blind? I must be. There it is. They're not so great at destroying hull, and it can take a little bit longer than multi-cannons. Because people say, well, you know, multi-cannons, you've got to reload them. That means you've got to go all the way back to the station. That's utter nonsense. You can just reload using the synthesis menu. You know, they take one each of a grade 1 material, so you can reload on the fly. I put a long range beam on my cutter and I fucking love it, but I'm also everything else. Yeah. The only thing I wish synthesis had was a reload all, because you've got to go through each individual weapon and reload it, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's not the worst problem to have. It's clicking one button. I'm hardly gonna lose out by clicking buttons. What I'll do is I'll trade these datas, I'll go back to the HIP system, and for anybody who is perhaps newer to the game, doesn't know how to navigate via planetary coordinates, I will that's pretty awesome. Nasty Dude Gaming. 250 million meta alloy jobs. Well, fill your boots, mate. That's 100 million in probably what, 10 minutes? Not bad at all, but it won't last forever. Remember, when the system state changes, those jobs will drop off for maybe 1-2 weeks until the background simulation catches up, and then they'll be available again. Yeah, people don't like rapid fire because what they see is they see you take a 5% damage hit and they think, oh my god, I'm losing damage. But what they forget is, okay, you might be losing outright damage, but you're putting 4 times as many bullets in, so you're actually doing more damage. You just gotta think about the maths, or math if you're American. Right, so those of you who have been here for the beginning, it's taken me 20 minutes to collect those 100 grade 5 datas from that site. And those of you who have ever sat in a famine system scanning ships at a distribution centre will know, one second, will know that you can scan for an hour, maybe even more, trying to get these data mined wake exceptions. So we spent 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want these, and I'm willing to trade all of these that took me almost no time to get, and there you go, 32 data mined wake exceptions. I think I'm going to top up these next, these abnormal compact emissions. Your dashboard letters. Yeah, it's my in-game name, Shinakuma. Shinakuma, of course, being popular from the Street Fighter series of games. In your opinion, what worked better, rapid-fire pulses or efficient beams at melting shields? About the same. Right, so HIP 12099. There we go.
Landing gear retracted.
Again, I guess the obvious answer to is for me to the which weapon is better would be pulses, because that's what I have. Beam lasers are less forgiving if you clip system authority ships. You can hit a system authority ship with a few pulses and they won't turn on you. If you even get too close to them with a beam, they turn on you quicker. So it's personal preference, to be fair.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
My question with that would be, do you find yourself fighting a lot of ships at long range? If you do, then switching to long range is probably your best bet. But for me, I tend to end up engaging ships at point blank, in which case efficient is better. The only exception to that rule is fighting Viper Mark 3s. They tend to hit you run to about 2.8 kilometers. Typically pop a heatsink if they're ranked dangerous or above. They disappear off the screen. So on that one occasion, long range beams would serve you better. But on the whole, I would stick with efficient. Right, so if you had never been to this system before, you'd drop in here, you'd scan it, because there is no nav beacon to scan, so you need an advanced discovery scanner. You'd select planets 1B, is it? Yeah, 1B, and fly towards it. Now, of course, I've got the because I've scanned the ship, I've got this handy little marker here that I could fly straight to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a quick demo of navigating planets via coordinates. Some of you probably know how to do this already, so this next bit will be of no interest to you. But if this video is being watched back by anyone in the future, it might prove useful, so I'm going to do a very quick lesson on what you'd need to do. So remembering that the coordinates were minus 54 and minus 50 longitude and latitude. First of all, we need to enter the planet's orbital area nice and slowly. Don't go barreling in like a bull. And as you can see, we've entered the orbital cruise, so two things have happened. On the right hand side, next to the A of my name, you can see there are two sets of numbers, and at the top of the screen you can see there is a compass. Now there are only 4 headings that we're interested in. That's 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 and 270. Ignore everything else. So first of all, we want that top number to be on minus 54. So we're going to switch our heading to, going wrong way, to 180 degrees. I think I'm doing this the longest possible way around, but never mind. So heading 180 degrees, you can see that that top one is now increasing, so we've gone too far. So we need to now counter that out by going to 0 degrees, because that's the exact opposite to 180 degrees, and you'll see that number starts to slowly come down. So we've got minus 54. Now we want the bottom number to say 50. So we're going to switch to a heading of 270, so directly west. And we're going to watch that number fall all the way down to minus 50. And then of course, once you've got minus 54 at the top and minus 50 at the bottom, that's it. That's how you navigate via planetary coordinates. But because I'm lazy, I'm now just going to plug in the actual coordinates that I've been to before. Thanks a lot, Dean. The streams automatically upload to YouTube after I finish broadcasting, so it will be there. You can view it back later if you want to. To be honest, all I'm going to be doing is rinse and repeat in the same method. Start decelerating now because I'm going to twat into the ground really hard. This is going to hurt quite a lot.
Shields offline. Taking damage.
Error. Right. Where's it gone?
Shields online.
Right, there we are. So it's going to land over here towards the rear. Spectacular display of crappy flying there. Please don't copy that. Come on, land you stupid fat fucking thing. Land. Damn it.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
Well, why tell me you can land there if you can't? You stupid thing. Land.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
That's annoying. Fine, go land somewhere else. Where is it? And here we are back where we started from. So all we're going to do is take up the optimum position to scan these 4 nodes, which is on this little brown piece of land here, next to this knackered container. Pop the handbrake on. That's annoying. And here we go again. Now, as well as the items that we're looking for, these also give out various consumer firmware items, which is why you can see I'm getting messages saying that my data is already full. Let's sit back onto this sofa a bit more, because arse is going numb perched on the end of it. appreciate again this is not the most enthralling of streams, so thank you for sticking on. Hopefully you're learning something you haven't seen before, um, and it's going to make engineering your ships just that little bit easier. Because there's nothing worse than spending an hour in a distribution center in a famine system desperately trying to find data mined wake exceptions and only ending up with 3 or 4 at the end of it. I know it pisses me off rotten. On the flip side to that, sometimes a random number generator has been very kind to me, and I've mined quite a lot in the time. But I like these type of methods because they're guaranteed results. There you go. That would be the military flying over my house. It's what everyone wants to hear at 11 o'clock at night when they should be in bed. Helicopters flying over your house, rattling the roof tiles. Thank you for that. So we are currently in the system HIP 12099 on planet 1B at the crash sites at the crash site of the crashed Cobra of Jamie Jameson. You won't find it automatically. You need to use planetary coordinates to navigate here for the first time, at which point you can scan the ship and then you will have a permanent marker forevermore to navigate back here easier in the future. If you want a tutorial on how to navigate a planet using just its coordinates, rewind the stream about 5-10 minutes. I give a tutorial on how to do that. But there are also tutorials on other sites, Down to Earth Astronomy. There's a whole video on it, and it's quite informative if you've never done it before. Picking up a lot of cracked industrial firmware from these as well. These are what are required for dirty drive tuning. One of the most popular engine modifications. So it's not a bad little learner. Let's just check where we're at. Data. So we're already up to 34. I'm going to call them AECs from now on because I can't be asked to keep saying the full thing. No, and I'm starting to get tired now, so I might call it soon. Excuse me. Yawning on stream. Very professional. Even the dog looks tired. I've had Elite Dangerous since 2015, but only recently got Horizons. This info is awesome. Oh, glad I could help. That's the plan. So the only thing to note is if you've been around since 2015, you'll know that Frontier Developments, otherwise known as FDev, are not a fan of players being able to achieve too much too quickly. It ruins their business model, and they are of the impression that if you get too much too quickly, you may stop playing their game, thus making it less popular. I would disagree with that. That's not the way I think about it. But this will be nerfed soon. Somebody has already made a crying post on the forums. There is no prospect they haven't seen it. I know, but some marketing exec will have come up with it to try and get his annual bonus, and they'll have believed them too. That's just the way nonsense works. Get in that. I think my next hop I might drop into an open session, see if there's anybody else at it or if it's just me. Of course, even if there were commanders there with the instancing software, we might not see them anyway. But let's say hello. 73, so should be there soon. Right, let's see if there's anyone else farming these materials the same way as me. Part of me wants there to be a load of SRVs all fighting for the same spot. Part of me thinks, oh God, what happens if someone shoots me? And just me. Oh well. Three more. Can this be done in a wing to double down in any way? No, unfortunately. I don't know actually, I've never tried it in a wing. I don't... No, data doesn't transfer across a wing, unfortunately. I wish it did, but alas it doesn't. It'd be awesome if it did, mind. So there's one of the three I need. There's two. And there is three. So as you can see, we've got another 100. So that means we can now go and trade in for another 16 data types of our choice. Oh, stupid thing.
Landing gear retracted.
Nope. So the reason I'm choosing this station to trade them in is, simply put, it's the closest one.
Shift drive charging.
It has a material trader for data items.
2, 1. Engage.
Yeah, well, everyone has their own play styles. Sustained fire is pretty awesome. I've often contemplated putting the autoloaders on my multi-cannons and removing the oversized sub. Oh shit, I can't say the bloody word now. Oversized sub-engineering item, but I like oversized more.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Graphical glitch there, trying to give me an epileptic fit. There we go. So let's look at the facts. I started this stream an hour and 4 minutes ago. I know because I've got a stream timer in front of me, and I had 0 data mined wake exceptions, which are quite possibly the hardest data items in the whole game to get. An hour's worth of scanning ships, even in the best distribution center and the highest population system in famine, would yield not even a quarter of that. So this is by far and away the most efficient way to get grade 5 data items in the game at the moment, with no exceptions. So I highly recommend checking this out. Let's one of the things that I keep getting while I'm there is my data items are full. So let's do a bit of trading so we can at least collect. Let's trade 100 of those. Anything else I've got a lot of that I'm soaking stuff up? Cracked industrial firmware, modified embedded firmware, I've got a lot of that. Don't really care about any of that shit, I don't use it. Those we're going to be collecting. And I might go back for one more round of node scanning and pick up some of these, 16 more of these. That's 2 full engineers. And I've got enough there to engineer, what, 4, 5 more ships to grade 5 frameshift drive.
Landing gear retracted.
Ship released. Restrict speed until clear of the station perimeter.
Oh shit, I'm gonna hit the wall. No, I'm not, no, I'm not.
Frameshift
All
drive
clear.
charging.
Until next time, Commander.
Three, two, one. Fuel scooping.
The sun has got absolutely ridiculous gravity behind it.
Scooping complete.
Pain in the ass to break orbit on this one, but thankfully there are ways and means around everything.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, shit. Loop of shame, loop of shame. I was reading something on my phone at the same time. I just wasn't paying attention to the distance to planet. Might do a combat stream tomorrow night. I've got a crate, a vulture, a Viper Mark III, a Challenger, and obviously the Corvettes. So if you want to see any of those particular ships in actions, drop a note into the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll take that particular ship out and see how much damage we can do with it. Right, let's see if I can probably about the same time, to be fair. I did plan to do today's stream a bit earlier, but a Blu-ray copy of Avengers Infinity War came on one of the movie sharing apps that I use, and I watched that first because I wanted to.
Landing gear deployed.
Yeah, I went to the Showcase Cinema at the where is it? It's not in Bradford, but it's near the IKEA near Leeds. And the reason I go to that one is because it's got leather reclining seats, electric ones. Pretty awesome. And it's a good cinema as well. It's an IMAX. But yeah, thankfully, like I say, it's on all of the most popular movie sharing sites at the moment. So Showbox, Popcorn Time, various other naughty streaming sites. Right, so if I dip my nose, tilt my ship, you're saying I can land, and then you're saying, actually no you can't. Just land, you stupid fucking thing.
Shields offline. Hull integrity complete.
I don't know if I'm tired or if it's just pissing me off now, but it quite clearly says that I can land, but won't let me.
Damage. Shields online. Flight assist off. Flight assist on. Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
God, if this game was a person, it would have got punched then. So once again we assume the position on this little brown patch next to this dirty brown thing, and once again we get to the enthralling gameplay where we sit and scan these beacons lots and lots of times. Nope, nope, that's my own ship. No bad. So we're already up to 52 adaptive AECs, which means that in not very long we'll be able to go and trade them for another 16 of any other grade 5 data that we like. Yes, yeah, so the new stadium, New York City and York City Knights Stadium, they're building a cinema there. It's actually delayed by 8 months because they wanted to put 2 extra screens in. And View at Clifton Moor kicked off because they felt threatened because their cinema was built in the 80s and is shit and the seats are uncomfortable. So they scuppered it by 8 months. Yeah, well, to be fair, like I said before, they need to. The cinema was awesome in the 80s. It was one of the best cinemas that was around at that time, but it's the technology that they have has stayed in the 80s. The seats are uncomfortable, the sound's crap, the speaker's in the wrong position, so I'm not surprised it's only £5 to get in. Yeah, when it was Warner Brothers. The only real thing it's got going for it is it's near a bunch of restaurants and pubs. And without giving too much personal information about me, if I was to walk to View from my house, it'd take about 90 seconds. Right, we must be getting somewhere close. $85, so we need 3 or 4 more. There's one. Yeah, absolutely. Because all we're doing is resetting the instance. We're not actually looking for anything. We're guaranteed to get what we want at the other side. So there you go. So we are now once again full on our AECs. This will be the 3rd run that I've done in an hour and a half. That has netted me over 300 of those, which has allowed me, oh for God's sake, yeah, just interrupt my speech, you stupid piece of shit thing, which has allowed me to get over 50 data bind wake exceptions, and I'm about to bag some abnormal compact emissions data for any engine and or other upgrades I need. Got my voice is running out, I'm that tired.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Frameshift drive charging.
Right, get past the world's most annoying sun.
Fuel scoop.
Excuse me, with the highest gravity.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Engineer deployed.
Touchdown confirmed. Commence system shutdown. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
Hull repaired.
On the paintwork to look scruffy. Right. So, we're going to take our 100. Oh no, we're going to say we want these, and we're prepared to trade these. There you go, 23 of those. So, whether you're watching this live or whether you are watching this back after the fact, in the last 90 minutes we've managed to collect nearly 70 of the hardest to find data items in the game for the purposes of engineering. If we were finding these via scanning ships or scanning wakes, we'd probably be on 10, maybe 20 if we were having a good night. So there is no more efficient way to collect data than this at the moment. It will be getting nerfed very soon because lots of people are crying about it on the forums. So I thought I'd bring you a quick demonstration of what can be achieved in almost no time at all, and hopefully, of course, this is going to help you towards engineering your ships up to the standard that you want them. But it's cracking on midnight where I am in the world. I've got work tomorrow, so I'm going to call it there. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream. It's been a bit duller than usual, but sometimes this game is dull in the things that you have to do. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock in game time, and we'll be doing a little bit of combat just because. But until then, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you all tomorrow evening. Have a good day.